Hello, Her Drive audience. Very excited for you all to be joining today. In this episode, we welcome Rachel Regan. She is a leader in Women Over Dinner, which is an initiative of Unconditional Freedom, which is a 501c3. Rachel and her team are on a mission to ignite the inestimable power of women through curated dinner gatherings where meaningful conversations and deep connections spark transformation. And if you're anyone like me, you've probably sat through countless dinners and networking events or just social engagements where you weren't really feeling all that juicy about the conversations. So I'm really excited to hear about Rachel and her team, this idea, what it sparked from, all of the impact that they've made in over 14 countries where these dinners have occurred. So without further ado, hello, Rachel. Welcome to Her Drive.
Hello, thank you so much. What a gorgeous welcome. Thank you,
Yeah,
Cynthia.
yeah. It's a pleasure. Well, I guess first and foremost, I would love to know a bit about this initiative and why or how it came to be.
Yeah, right. It's an incredible one, right? And that's what drew me. I think you said it in the intro, but really it sparked from this idea that women have inestimable power, and we have either forgotten it or there's nowhere to actually express it in some way, shape, or form, especially with other women. But at the very start, our founder, Nicole Daedone, she was literally just having a conversation with one of her very close friends, Angel Grant. Angel Grant founded Death Over Dinner. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it was a similar idea, but where people could talk and share vulnerably about death, which is a kind of a taboo subject to talk about. And I think they had over 200,000 death over dinners. And they were having a conversation about this very topic about women and women's power being inestimable and almost untapped. And Angel immediately said, "You are welcome to develop this format for
Mm.
women." And so that from that conversation, I think it's about 18 months now. From that conversation, we've been, myself and a team of other women leading the initiative, have been dinner by dinner, woman by woman, developing the format and the audience, and in different locations all over the world, for women to come in and experience this curated dinner. It's scripted. It has tailored questions. It's a 3-course sit-down meal. So there's a whole container and experience for women to really allow them to sink in and share in possibly a new space. There's certain nuances to the curation of the dinner that is a new space, and a new space to be vulnerable, a new space to be with women, share, and speak our own language.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think this has been a conversation amongst my friends and community as far as gathering spaces for women to come with intention and be fully expressed in their authenticity. So I
Mm.
think it's very perfectly timed that we're having this conversation right now. There must be something in the ethers for all of us because I think community is more and more rare, right? And we're living
Yes.
more solitary lives, which feels just doesn't feel natural. And that's why I think there's so many of us who have this longing to come together. And I love that this is a format that's been established. So diving into the experience a little bit more, I know you said that it's curated a bit. So in what ways, or what can women expect when they come into the experience?
this is a gorgeous question because I had the same when I took part in my first dinner, because you kind of feel the energy of it, and then you feel the, like you said, there is a yearning. I think it's a particular feminine yearning because community and feminine and um, the sangha is a particularly feminine thing, and I think that's what wants to come back into the world. And so my background, it was in tech, big tech, and I was like working in tech, and it was so dry and such a masculine world to be in, which is what actually drew me to the program itself and working in this initiative. And then when a woman walks in to the meal, they're seated at their own table. There is usually there's between 6 and 10 women at each table. There's a table lead at each table, and then there's a host who starts the evening. So we open the evening with a script. It's a repeatable script. So that was one of the things we really, really wanted to create, was the immediate ability for any woman to host their own. So it's like not necessary to have any of us there. They could just have their kit and they could host their own dinner. So it's really simple in that way. The host introduces us. We are seated at our table. The meal comes as we're experiencing the evening. So each table lead will take the table through the series of questions that we have. Usually it's between four and five. Sometimes there can be a bonus question depending on the evening and the topic. And then the table goes through their questions. And it's I think the thing that really, there's a couple of things about why it's different than just women gathering and having dinner together and having a chat.
Yeah.
In that, a couple of really key things. When a woman answers the question, we don't have any crosstalk, which means, which means once the woman is finished answering a question, everyone just says thank you. There's no opinions, there's no comments, there's no commentary, there's no addition to what she has shared, just that she's shared, and you just say thank you. And that's really, it sounds so simple, but I found that difficult
Sure.
personally, because there's just so much. Women are so engaging and so interesting, but it's quite difficult to like not pour yourself onto someone's share, at least for me personally. So that was a beautiful thing that I found about the dinner, and one thing that I love. And then everything about the evening, we put attention on the woman. We say thank you. There's a reflections after we finished the questions, where we just pick a moment that stood out. We reflect on the moment. We say how it impacted us, and everybody just says thank you. And so it's a real space where a woman has the ability to just sink in and not worry about how what she wants to say is going to be received.
Mm. That's really beautiful. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever been in a full format like that. There's certain trainings that I've been to in my own work as a somatic sexologist um, where it's sort of in that essence, but it's interesting to think about a women's space being that way and how nourishing it actually could be, because so many times we just want to be heard more than anything. And we really don't need the input of other people. What we actually need is to be heard and witnessed in our own processing. Simultaneously, that I think helps us trust in our own intuition and our own inner knowing rather than outsourcing.
100%.
Mm,
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
wow, how fascinating. Um, so I was reading about you all, and I noticed that there has been an initiative to, or a goal set to have these beautiful dinners in for women who have been incarcerated, and I would love to know more
Yes.
about that.
Yes. Oh, wow. It still brings me so much joy because it's almost like we were a whole year working towards this, this invitation. And on December 9th, we made history by having our first Women Over Dinner in prison, in Taconic Women's Prison. It's in northern upstate New York. Stunning meal and experience. I think there was 100 women sitting for the dinner, and I think it was just the culmination. Like there's a one of our main pillars and principles is that it's this can be accessed by all women, no matter their circumstance. So there is we agreed that no matter what we created, what space we went into, how much we grew, that this was our principal idea, that there is zero barrier to entry. And so women getting to experience that while being incarcerated was kind of, for me, was the epitome of that value and intention that we set. And so yeah, that was the first one. We held it on the 9th. There was 100 women sitting. It was a stunning evening and experience. I'd love to read you, actually, if you don't mind. I'd love to read you what one of the women said.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, yeah, I would love to, because it just moves me so much. Let me find one of the. Okay, one woman said, "As I sit here reflecting on last evening, I am compelled to voice my appreciation. I'm currently in my 18th year of incarceration, and I've yet to have experienced what I experienced last night. I wrote an email to a friend and I equated the ambience as going to a conference in a hotel. Last night was an impacting and rememberable moment, and I'm grateful for the work that your organization is doing." Yeah, stunning, right? And in the, I'll just share another one as well. I would like to thank you for coming to our facility and sharing all that you ladies did. It was an honor to be around such positive and motivated women who have accomplished so much, and I look forward to seeing and being part of the next event. Thank you again.
Mm.
There was several beautiful moments like that, and you can see we have a gorgeous video of testimonials from a lot of the women on the website. Yeah, it was just an incredible experience, and so now the initiative has expanded into aiming to have as many dinners in as many prisons as we can. That will be one of our aims for 2025.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And then if I can get into the nuts and bolts of this system, because it sounds so beautiful, like how do you as an organization figure out ways to fund the different dinners or people paying ticketing pricing, like, um, and then I guess that's my kind of more like operational question, because I'm sure so many are like, yes, we love the idea of this, but how do we actually bring it forward, and how do you make it so that it's accessible and there's no barrier of entry
Right.
to anyone?
Right. Great question. The dinners are entirely donation based, so they're
Mm.
entirely funded with donations. We have suggested, so our dinners have no ticket costs, but we have a suggested sliding scale. So if you register for a ticket, our suggestion is $25. But if you don't have it, you don't have it. It's no problem. Often, what we find is women will donate what they can, And usually that will pay for another woman at the next dinner. So everything sort of cascades that way. The rest of the funding is done by fundraising from our team. So we fundraise constantly, constantly, and so then all and any donations go towards the next dinner. And then one of the things we're looking at as we expand this year is we're looking at more of a larger scale sponsorship.
Mm.
So we're looking to find sponsors that are really interested in, say, sponsoring an event or part of an event. So we're looking at companies that we all our events are non-alcoholic, but we do a sparkling water. So we have a lot of Pellegrino at our dinners. And so things like that, we're talking to Pellegrino about if they would like to sponsor. One of the really unique things about doing a dinner that I've learned in prison is that everything has to be plastic.
Mm.
So all the cutlery, all the place settings, all the, vases for the flowers. And so we're looking at creative ways and companies that can make that feel beautiful, and seeing if they would like to be part of what we're doing. And so there's many different ways, but that will definitely be one of our main aims as we go into 25, is looking at a bigger, broader involvement of partners that want to sponsor events on a larger scale.
Yeah, yeah, that makes perfect sense, and I love it. Oh, I think women are so resourceful, and anything that we want to create, we can, and we just have these fun little ways of just making it work. And collaboration seems to be the ultimate currency between women.
Yes, I agree. And you make a really important point, because we don't just want to, that's another thing about Women Over Dinner. We don't just want to um, point to our inestimable power or remember our inestimable power, but we're doing it for a reason. We want to
Mm.
remember it, and then we want to aim it into creation. So
Beautiful, beautiful. So I am curious. I know you touched on the feedback of the women who are inmates, but what was the feedback from staff? Because there are guards there and other people. Um, that sounds interesting to me to hear their thoughts and opinions as observers and
yeah,
participants.
I'm so glad you asked that, because that was one of the things that was not in my awareness. Like, it wasn't quite in my awareness that would be I hadn't quite got to the impact also being for all the staff in Taconic. And one of the most beautiful reflections we got was from the guards themselves. They weren't part of the dinner, but they were part of feeling the experience of the women getting to have something so nourishing. And they also got to share in the food. And one of the things that we really have a lot of attention on is nourishing, healthy, clean, organic food for the meals as well. And so they got to experience that. And I think it's actually in the video, one of the wonderful women, I think she was a supervisor, or she could have been more of an administration, but she just crying in her video, sharing how more connected she felt to the women that she's taking care of, because the experience created um, the experience is community. And so it created this magnet of community for that day, that where everyone felt closer and more together inside the experience. And so that was really beautiful. It was really beautiful for me to hear that. I thought that was gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah, I just energetically am feeling into the ripples of that experience, right? And when you use the word magnetized, I you can see that. And I think many times we don't, as outsiders, we don't think about the ecosystem of the prison system. And
Mm,
that truly is a place where you use the word the women that she's taking care of.
mm,
And that's truly what's happening. I think many times, and my mind even goes to like, oh, they have power over the prisoners. It could be an abusive situation, or very easily could become that, or a situation of resentment against the guards, or you name the negative emotions that could be there, even like remorse or shame or whatever else might
right,
be, right? Like that
right.
regards to being in such a place. Um, but I kind of flash back to that old show, um, Orange is the New Black. Did you ever watch it?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
watched the first series. I didn't watch it all the way through, but I loved yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it was and I'm sure I watched all the seasons. But for me, it was such a powerful show to see the humanity of each individual woman, understand their backstory, and like grow in compassion for every single human. And also a good reminder that every choice that we make has consequences, and that can be of a positive light or something that could be detrimental to our future. But I loved in that show, there were different aspects of community that were formed. And then, of course, you
yeah.
have you're rioting against each other. But it was really beautiful to see the way in which human beings, even in such a unfortunate state, can come together and bond, and how important bonding, sisterhood, community is. Which then fast forwards me into a recent documentary I watched of Martha Stewart, and she was in
Love
prison
her.
for a while. Yeah. And, as rough as this woman is, it seemed like her gardening program and the cooking that she was doing within her time, which was relatively brief, still made an impact. So, in thinking about what you all are doing and that first dinner, and now the initiative to have even more, I'm just so curious to see what the lasting ripples might be, even from
Right.
just dinner. Like perhaps the prisoners, the guards, whomever will strike up the initiative. Like we should do more of this. How can we bring together? Because if we can come together as women and talk vulnerably, honestly, um, there's deep, profound healing that can occur.
Yes. Yes. I completely agree. And I love that you said, how can, the spark of creativity and inspiration of it, how can we recreate this, or how can we continue, even take any element of what's happened here today and continue and have it, try to instill it into the system.
Yeah.
Try and have the system. I mean, one of the beautiful things about about this dinner as well is that it connected women over dinner with another core initiative of unconditional freedom, because the prison monastery, which is a, a program to reimagine the prison system altogether,
Mm.
um, and run by Unconditional Freedom, it's where the two programs started to meet. The Prison Monastery being a reimagination of the prison system returning to its roots of penance, penitentiary, penance, where you've gone to reflect and go inside yourself and figure out what happened, what's in here, who am I, and what you're going to do in the future. And so the coming together of the two programs feels incredible. And I love that you said, that you pointed to the ripple effect of it, like how can we have this ripple throughout, and which is one of the reasons why we want to have one in every state. So every woman that becomes part of the program, we have done over 300 dinners now. We have almost 2,000 set. We've had almost 2,700 women impacted or take part in a Women Over Dinner, and they're all over the world and all over the US in many different states. And so our aim will be to have a dinner in a prison or even a re-entry house. A re-entry house is the a dinner that we have planned for Women's History Month in March, on March 27th. And so anywhere that there is justice impacted women is where we want to be.
Beautiful. And did you say justice impacted women?
Justice impacted women, yeah.
And what does that mean to you?
So any woman that has been through the justice system for any reason is still part of the justice system, or is any organization that is supporting the justice system.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it so very much. Ooh. Well, for those who want to get involved, what's the process?
Many ways. If you are anywhere near Harlem in New York, we have a core dinner happens there almost every month. Our next one is on February 19th. You can come and be in person. It's also online virtually, so you can join the virtual dinner. You can join the dinners together because we want to make sure all our women globally can join as well. We do a global virtual dinner every month also. You can see all the dinners scheduled on our website. And then if you are drawn to maybe hosting your own dinner, there's a hosting kit which you can download from the website. And sometimes it can be as simple as I did one here. I'm based in Ireland, so I work remotely and travel back and forth. But I did one here in Ireland where I just gathered a few of my girlfriends and my close family women, brought them to my favorite restaurant, had the kit with me, and went through the experience with them. So it can be as simple as that. To host your own dinner, you can host at home. The kit is fantastic for that. So there's lots of different ways. And then if you are someone who is involved in the justice system, or you're particularly taken by what we're trying to do in 2025, and you'd like to contribute or donate, we can share. There's a donation link at Women Over Dinner. All our dinners are fully funded by donations. So many different ways to get involved.
I love that also very much. And it seems like the team has thought about many angles, from the virtual to the downloading the kit to actually being able to come in person. How beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Well, this is more of a series of personal questions. And the first one is, if you had a magical wand and you could do anything with this wand. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had a magical wand and you could do anything with this wand, what would you do?
Wow, what a question. I would have every woman that has been to a dinner or a virtual dinner host their own dinner. I would have every prison, jail, re-entry house have a dinner monthly.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I would have a dinner monthly and have it be part of the system that nourishes every woman in every marginalized community. I would have it that they had access to this experience. Yeah. And across the whole world.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Good. And this is another personal question. Everyone gets asked this. If you could go back in time and give a younger you some words of wisdom, to what age would you go and what would you say?
I would go back to Rachel at 15, because in school at 15, it was my experience that you were choosing the subjects of where to go, what you were going to do next, your next set of subjects. And I thought my highest subjects and the things I was best at and the things I loved the most were music and art. And when I came to 15 and I had these subjects that I had to choose from, I thought I'm going to have to switch to science because that's how I'm going to have a career. And so I would tell that woman, that 15-year-old young woman, to continue to do and create and be with her heart and create and create and create and create and create, because that mindset of career and production, it's a blueprint that is not ours. And when I say ours, I mean women. It's a blueprint that's not ours. And I would say, don't worry, you can trust it, and you will have an incredible life.
Mm, I hear you. I hear you loudly so much. Like capitalism, and I'm not, this is not me dogging on capitalism, but it's
Mm,
kind of in this blueprint of, you have to make that choice. You have to, if you don't go this way, there's no possible way of making money utilizing the things that you're most passionate and creative about. But what I love about this digital era and what's being called forward is that we actually can utilize our creative components and our true essence to not only make a living but to thrive and to impact our communities and inspire others to follow their heart. So unfortunately our
mm.
younger selves didn't get that message, but I hope that the younger generations are seeing this and making choices that are more in alignment for their heart rather than what is being projected upon them
Yeah,
fully. You.
yeah. What a great question. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love it so much. Yeah. 15-year-old Rachel. She hears you. Um, beautiful. Well, Rachel, I would love to just open up the floor for anything that's on your heart to share about you, about the program. Yeah, it's all yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think the thing that I'd love to share just briefly, and I know we touched on it, is it is Women's History Month coming up in March, and it's such a significant month. Um, I'm absolutely in love with our next, let's say, justice impacted women's dinner, because it's not actually a prison, it's a re-entry house, but Providence House will be our next dinner on March 27th. And they're doing just such fantastic work there. They're a re-entry house for women coming out of prison. They are a shelter for women who have fallen on hard times and found themselves homeless. They do all sorts of work. Their main thing and main focus is the health and nourishment and safety of women. And so we are super excited to do a dinner there. It will be for 100 women. So a big dinner, and we'll be, of course, doing all we can to fundraise for that and have as many people get involved as we can. And hopefully it's the first of many.
I love that so much. And thank you for the beautiful reminder of Women's History Month. It's so vital to pause and put us on a pedestal, so to speak. Beautiful. Well, where can everyone find Women Over Dinner and further their engagement?
The most instant and immediate resource is to go to our website, which is womenoverdinner.org, and we're also on Instagram at women over dinner is our handle, and they're probably the most immediate and easily accessible resources. From the website, you can download the kit. You can see our scheduled dinners. You can see everything that we're up to.
Beautiful. Amazing. Thank you so much, Rachel, for coming on Her Drive today. It was a joy to chat with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And such beautiful questions.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm deeply inspired and I'm absolutely going to host a dinner. This is perfect timing. No. Thank you. I love bringing women together, but I'm super excited to utilize the kit that you all are providing and look forward to exploring how that is impacting my own circle.
Oh, fantastic. I could not ask for more.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode of Her Drive. Please go to their website, host a dinner, and encourage other people within your circle to do the same. It really is a time for the collective to come together, for us to really start to hear one another and lean into the hearts that we all are just, so big and brave within, but sometimes we just need a little nudge to share what's on our heart. So, and also share this episode if you know that there's someone in your life who would just be so excited to hear what's been happening with Women Over Dinner. And as always, I ask you to leave a review. Love you all. Take care.